All right, everybody, welcome back to Jakey's Pod, Meditations with Jake Lipinski. Yeah, I changed it to Meditations. I thought that was better. I thought it fit better. You know, maybe I'm going into a different direction. And then my friends were like, "No, keep it Jakey Pod," and I knew they would say that. I think it's gonna be Jakey Pod. It's gonna be like, Jid and JID. It's gonna be like Jid and JID. You know, technically his name is JID, but people call him Jid, and he's fine with that. Even though that's not his name, he just likes people calling him something. So it might be like that. You know, today the meditation of today. Jakey's meditation today, Meditations with Jake Lipinski today is meditations on productivity. Also, I am fucking just absolutely on one. I am driving around Philadelphia trying to be productive and just absolutely raging out at every single person. I'm like driving like an absolute demon today. I don't even know where I'm going. I just did an errand. I just dropped off the hard drive with Jay Simpson's special files to our cameraman Gio, and that was supposed to be like, this happens to me sometimes. That was supposed to be a 10-15 minute drive, and I just ended up fucking stuck in traffic, screaming in my closed car for 20 minutes, whatever. I just got stuck behind everything. Certain days driving around Philly are just demonic. I don't know. Sean thinks it's me. He thinks I'm a bad driver. I'm full of rage. I'm both full of salt and piss and vinegar today. I'm full of salty, pissy vinegar. I'm full of salty piss. But I'm actually kind of in a good mood. I think tonight's going to rip. It's Thursday night comedy. I'm ready to return with a vengeance. Batman return. I'm going to fucking there's a bunch of great comedy tonight. I'm going to go do it all. But I was thinking about I guess I was thinking about two things today. Part of why I'm filled with piss and vinegar is, Jesus Christ, man, is I kind of was watching some like violent programming last night, and I think it was fucking with my head. I watched Shogun and Invincible, and those are just honestly, it was some of the most graphic television I've watched in forever. But even though I'm in a good mood today, driving is making me want to commit seppuku. Honestly, dog. Whew. Well, this like ties to my point. I should get to my point and then tie it back into seppuku. But I will say, in Shogun last night, Shogun episode, I guess 7 or 8, had like one of the most, and like, you're like in your head, you're like, why aren't they committing seppuku all the time? Why aren't they committing seppuku all the time? But it's like, you got to save that part of the show. You got to save it for like a big moment. And even though it is kind of like average day to them, seppuku, like it was maybe one of the most horrible graphic things I've ever seen. It's just like, you got to kill yourself to win an argument. That's some productivity. Tying it back into the meditation of productivity. And I was, because of my last episode, my last solo pod was about being overwhelmed. And, I wasn't trying to fucking bellyache, although I guess I was in a sense, but Maria's mom, I know you're listening, was concerned. But it's fun. But like, it was having me, that time, her being concerned I was meditating on productivity today because, I was working my new job last night, and I'm meeting my new coworkers, and they're great, and they like me. And I'm a good worker, but I don't work a lot, man. I just, like, maybe, this is why I was meditating about it. I was beeping at a garbage man. I didn't know I was. I thought I was beeping at a SEPTA bus. Two people who are doing their job. Like, do you see? I'm like a piece of shit in my car. I was beeping at two people who were doing their job, and I think I was caught the ire. Well, Jesus fucking Christ, man, of some some construction workers who were paying attention, and they were talking about what I overheard and then filled in the gaps of is like, oh, people don't work anymore. People don't work. And it's like the exact thing I was talking about last time. And like, I think I should tie more because, I mean, productivity is a weird thing. I guess there's technical productivity, which is like, you know, how many hours you work a week generating a lot of money, producing, you know, money and capital. But I guess I was gassing myself up. That's why I wanted to meditate on this. I think, like, I'm productive in a sense, because sure, I don't work a lot, and the money I get, I spend on you know, garbage basically. But like, people like comedy shows. Like even I'm not producing something what I produce doesn't have like a monetary value. You know, I'm not selling like a fucking pens or. That's the first thing I think. I think I was gonna say shirts first, and then I said pens. You know, like I'm not selling a product, but I sell local comedy shows that people enjoy. You know what I mean? Like people enjoy them, and even though I'm just putting all my hours into something that is sort of ethereal, which is like a temporary show, an hour and a half of somebody's life, but. And these old Philly guys, they might be like, you know, this guy doesn't work a lot. What does this guy do? He puts on comedy shows. But people like comedy shows. I don't think we want to live in a world without indie comedy shows. What a boring world that would be. So basically what I'm saying is they have to be garbage men so I can put on local comedy shows. Woo! Woo! Goddamn cunt. Sorry. You know, people feel. Man, I might commit seppuku today. I literally might. Well, that's what's interesting about the show Shogun is. It's like to kill yourself to win an argument. Like that's productivity. You know, like, no, dog. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, though. I'm going to commit seppuku on this guy's head to prove a point. That's what happened in the show Shogun. The guys are having an argument. One guy wants to change another guy's opinion. They're talking about going to war. The king doesn't want to go to war, but his general wants him to. And the king wants to give up. He wants to basically fold in the towel, surrender to the enemy, where he's going to be executed. And his best friend is like, you're being a pussy. We need to go fight to the death. And then the king was like, no, I'm not going to fight to death. I've had enough bloodshed. And then he goes, well, how about I fucking kill myself? How about I fucking kill myself? If you don't go to war, I'm going to fucking kill myself. And then the king was like, actually, that's a good idea. Why don't you fucking do that? Why don't you fucking do that? Because I don't like disrespectful people as my general. So actually it would be good if you killed yourself. And then the guy was like, the general was like, oh, so you don't mind senseless bloodshed? So it's all arbitrary then? And he goes, yeah, I guess it is arbitrary. Now fucking kill yourself. And he goes, you want me to kill you? You want me to kill myself? He goes, yeah, do it right now. And he goes, all right, I said I'm gonna. So I will. And he goes, good. And Maria fell asleep by this point, and I am watching it just like, oh my God. It showed all of it, so graphic. And what they do in Japan too, you need a second, because like, you need to do the act of goring yourself to show that you're really like a down bitch, you're really a hard ass man, but you're not gonna die that way. So you need your second, your guy with a katana who's gonna chop your head off as soon as you do the act. So you do the act, feel the pain, swift death. And the guy in the show, I'm like spoiling the show, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I need son. This is what's funny about the show. This is what's good about, I've been talking about Japanese culture a lot, I was just talking about it a lot, is they're all so anxious to kill themselves. They all want to kill themselves, but they want to do it at the right time. They want to do it at the perfect moment. And then they'll all get, like once per episode, they get all fucking antsy. And they go, I got an idea. How about I fucking kill myself and you kill me after? And then they go, and he's like, all right, then I'll kill myself. And the guy goes, no, you can't. You can't. You have to keep living. I'm going to kill myself, but you have to keep going. And they're just kind of like egging each other on. It's such an intense society to live in. I wonder if my girlfriend's done getting ready. We were going to go honestly to see her family. Oh, but she was getting ready, and I was like, baby, how much time do you have left? And she was like, 20, 30 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go drive around the neighborhood and talk about productivity. I think I was supposed to tie in the thread of the productivity of the comedy shows with the caring so much that you would kill yourself to prove a point. It's interesting. And then now I'm like, oh, now I'm getting into territory of like, maybe Jakey should stop talking. Or maybe I should keep going. Maybe I should keep fucking going. Well, actually, there was a murder recently in my neighborhood. It's so funny. My parents just came to visit, and they think Philly's so nice. And they watch the Philly news, and it's just like, and they're like, this is awful. But there was a guy, I'm going to do a joke about it later tonight. Not, a guy who was stabbed and run over with a car at a Wawa, right near the crib. And I was driving home, and I was like, why is all the parking blocked off? I parked right next to it. And I remember thinking, like, man, it looks like not just like cops. It looks like the police chiefs are here. And I have video of it, too. The guys who look like, evidently like the CSI guys, they look like the type of dudes that do production for the fucking TLA, which is funny. Like the same hipsters that do production at venues are also the guys who do CSI crime stuff. That's neat. But I've been thinking about people who raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand if you watch death videos on the internet. Whoa. People watch death videos on the internet. I personally don't. It's funny, I can't stomach gore and death. I hate being told I can't stomach stuff, so sometimes I'll subject myself to some shit. Like when I worked in the vet's office, what kind of turned me eventually was just the sheer gore. You have to be kind of like callous to seeing gore, and I've realized that's a type of person, and I am not that. I'm kind of a puss when it comes to that stuff. It's not even like I don't like blood. It's like, no, like real life gore is horrible. But some people like watching it on the internet. I know you could just go on the internet and you could find anything. My old roommate, who I'm going to talk about freely, because honestly, fuck you. He was like obsessed with death videos, and he was also like a weird antisocial guy. And but it almost seemed like the way he talked about death videos was almost like he was addicted to it in a weird way. Like, like eventually you're gonna go back and watch some death. Like it's like, for me, like to me, the when people this is what death video people do. They always like describe it to you, and I have a vivid imagination. So you describing an ISIS beheading to me is honestly worse than seeing it. But to be fair, seeing it's also fucked up too. But I mean, like, anyway, a guy got his throat slit and run over by a car at the Wawa. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But dude, I was watching that show Invincible, and it's a cartoon, It's a damn cartoon. But the gore in that show, and this is what's fucked up too. All these fucking, you ready for all these gay, woke TV show runners nowadays who make shit TV shows? They have to desexualize the women. They have to pull the tits out of all the shows. That's why everyone thinks Sydney Sweeney's like a great actress, because she's the only fucking lady left with like big boobies. But in everything, they have to smush down the boobies, hide the boobies. So they have all the chicks in this show flat-chested as hell. Everyone looks like a damn piece of cardboard. But it's like, and same thing with Netflix, all that shit. They have to like desexualize everything can't have, to be fair though, back in the day, like having to put like constant fuck scenes in action movies, like I don't want that either. Can we not have the kissing and the fucking in the action movies? But at the same time, like, I also don't need to like You don't need to make their breasts weird and small. Anyway. So they're desexualizing the show. That's a nice car. But the gore is like all-time horrible. Like, okay, like death videos being with whoever is making the death scenes in Shogun and Invincible, these people are watching death videos, man. It's too graphic. And I'm not even saying they shouldn't do it or they shouldn't have the right to do it. It's just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, and it does traumatize you. It doesn't traumatize you, but it glues your eyeballs and you're just like, and it makes you feel a feeling. Last night, I'm like I watched this fucking Asian dude commit seppuku. And Maria's asleep and we're like, our heads are together. I'm like, I'm chilling with the cats. I'm like, I gotta watch something else. Let me watch Invincible. I have to watch ladies get smashed. Not the good smash. I mean smashed to bits. I mean smashed to pieces. It was just like, Jesus Christ, man. But it looks so good. I'm like, whoever is editing this watches death videos. Was this productive enough for you? Was this a meditation on productivity? I'm like fucking Goggins out here, dude. These are the only two dudes I respect her. Goggins and Peterson, baby. I actually don't respect Jordan Peterson. I would like the record to show that I don't respect Jordan. You know why I don't respect Jordan Peterson? It's because he's a fucking therapist, all right? Every therapist is a pseudo-intellectual, bullshit, fake scientist hack, dude. They read a bunch of books and they can talk you in circles. Hey, Jakey can talk in circles too, dude. I don't need some fake therapist degree to talk myself in circles. I don't need to talk to some weird guy. Listen, I get Jordan Peterson fans don't have a dad. Shawnee the other day, he has a dad. But I was like, I smelled a burning smell in my car. And I was like, what's that smell? That's the thing I do. I'm like a Wolverine. If I smell something, and he goes, yeah, that little gauge in the back of your car, that's like the heat gauge. You could look at that and see if your car's overheating. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I have a fucking dad. I smell the burnt smell. That's what my dad would do. If my dad smells weird smells, he like has to pause everything and smell. And that's what I do too. I'm like a Wolverine. So I smelled like burnt hair in my car. I still smell it. But I don't know if that means something in the car is overheating. But evidently the gauge is good. The gauge is fine. I think I need to be when I drive around Philly, I think I need to be talking about myself talking to myself about myself. This is so much better than raging out. But if I have to be A to B in a certain amount of time, like, I'm going to feel the rage. I'm going to feel the pain. You know, productivity is an ethereal concept. Do you know what I mean? Hey, look, there's Hector. Hi, Hector. What the heck, Hector? That's my dog. 2 coffees. Hector's a good boyfriend. I could tell. Doing that 2 coffee move. Or maybe he wants 2 coffees. It's all for him. I don't know. Productivity is sort of important. But I think really I just wanted to talk about seppuku this episode in gore. I don't know what I talked about this episode. Oh, it's Chris. Hey. Ugh. Guys, comedy night's gonna rip. I'm gonna bring this good, dark, high-level energy to the open mics, and they need it. They need it tonight. I'm gonna give Logan Mallon a fucking talking to. Yeah, I'm gonna give Logan Mallon a fucking talking to. Logan Mallon screamed in my face this week. Screamed in my face. And he called me and he wasn't screaming nice stuff. He was screaming that I was a liar. And to be fair, I provoked him. And also to be fair, I might have crisscrossed my words because I'm high all the time. And I'm also not a fucking lawyer, all right? And come to find out, I don't know, after all that getting screamed at, getting called a liar over a certain situation involving a certain other person, all right? I go to talk to him, and I get the opposite story. I get the opposite. So not only did I get screamed at, Logan, But you're wrong. You're dead wrong. How does that feel? You screamed at me and you're wrong. And George was wrong too. George didn't scream at me, but he was mad at me. And he was wrong too. You know, he should be mad at Logan. What do you think of that? You know, I will concede that it was inappropriate of me. No. I'm not going to concede anything. All right. Logan, I'll see you tonight. I'm going to try not to scream. I'm just going to bring this dark energy to the open mics tonight. This kind of fun, dark. It's gore, but it's cartoon, it's animated, it's fun. It's tits, but they're small, they're square. All right, guys, this has been a meditation to Jakey Lipinski. This has been Jakey's Pod. Signing off.